All right, it's about 2:20 a.m. and this thing's been beeping at me. It's got 11 minutes to go, so I don't know if this is a bit more baking time or a bit more cooling down till it's safe to handle time. I don't remember. I haven't used this bread machine in a while, but yeah, as you can see, got this keto loaf about ready to go. I'll be using this for breakfast, and the flaxseed meal I've used came out an awful lot finer and a lot more golden than the stuff I used to buy in the past. So this actually looks very different to the keto loaves I used to make. I'll have to see how it turns out. A little late night snack for me. Mm. Mm. That's better than I remember it. Probably because of the flaxseed meal I used being totally different. Oh yeah. I can't freaking wait. So it's morning, and God, I am behind on my kitchen cleaning. I've got 2 slices of this mysterious loaf ready to go. It's actually got a good crumb to it. The outer crust almost has kind of a papery texture to it. I make that sound worse than it is. I do think this stuff tastes fine. And besides, once I've actually sort of like filled this up with cheese and grilled both sides of it, you're barely going to be, well, you can barely tell the difference. All right, so making a grilled cheese with this stuff is wicked simple. What we do is we just get one of our slices here, we add some cheese. Now, personally, I like to use Emmental. I'm a big fan of Red Leicester. And then to that, we're going to add 1 slice of prosciutto. Now normally, I quite like to put a bit of onion chutney in a grilled cheese, but at the moment, because onion chutney is just a little bit too high in sugar, I won't be doing that. Maybe if I can find some kind of recipe to make, say, like an onion chutney with erythritol or another low-carb sweetener that can make it work as a preserve, then maybe I'll start doing it, but onions themselves can be quite high in carbs if you aren't careful with them. Like onions, you can eat onions on keto, but you gotta eat them in some kind of extreme moderation. There we go. Simple enough so far. Then we make sure our other slice of bread is on there, and then I'm gonna use mayonnaise to cover the outside. The reason we do this is mayonnaise is kind of a natural oil in its own right. So you can cook food in it. It's also got a much higher smoke point than butter. And what this will also mean is we can coat this thing in mayonnaise, and then we can just put it in an unheated pan and heat the pan up with the mayonnaise. Don't have to put anything else in the pan this way, like so. Oh crap. Well, whatever. It's going to be cooking in that anyway. And then we just cover the other side as well. It also gives the bread a really, really good crunch at the end. If you've never tried doing this, a grilled cheese with mayonnaise, I insist you give this a go. I used to think this was an absolutely insane idea myself until I tried it and realized, wow, no, this is how I want to eat every grilled cheese ever from now on. And then finally, we're just going to flip this bad boy back over. The side that's got the most surface area exposed to the bottom is the one I want to do first, ideally. So allegedly, this loaf has about 2 grams of carbs per slice. And then with me adding cheese and ham to it and mayonnaise, I'm basically adding no further carbs to this. So most of the rest of the nutritional profile of this now is fat and protein. On this diet, that is what you want. This does also mean some of the peanut butter cookies I cooked last night. I'm going to be having 1 or 2 of those with a cup of coffee this morning. This is now just a case of we wait for the pan to heat up. Real exciting. So, you can feel it kind of getting a little bit crispy on the underside. So we're going to turn this. Oh, look at that. That is what you call toasted. It almost, one of the key ingredients of this keto loaf is you put eggs in the water that you mix it with. And so it almost kind of looks like eggy bread or French toast or something, almost like brioche. And you can see now there is like an actual bit of grease and oil starting to get on the pan. Like I said, it's just the mayonnaise kind of melting and separating. Most of the rest of it is just going towards making a nice and crunchy crust. Pull the sandwich back a little. You can see the cheese is starting to melt, but it's not quite all the way there, so it's going to need more time. Again, with mayonnaise having a higher smoke point, this means it can spend longer in the pan. It gives the cheese more time to melt. I'll be flipping this over a couple more times as well, because while this is technically already well toasted on the outside, it can definitely stand to be in a little more. When you do mayonnaise on this, you can end up with your toast looking pretty much burned, like almost black. And it won't be nearly as nasty as when you have actually burned black toast that's been in a toaster too long. It just ends up really crunchy and with a very, very distinct flavor to it. Like this, yeah. Don't worry, this looks burned. It's not. It's just well done at best. If you ever tried this, you'll know. I am going to turn the heat down on this now, because at this point my only objective is to just melt the rest of the cheese. There's a good chance I've had the pan's heat on too high. But this is the first time I've done this in a real long time. Since starting this channel, I haven't had a single grilled cheese. Because normally I wouldn't be willing to keep an entire loaf of bread in the house just to occasionally have grilled cheese. And as some of you will know, I started having my eggs on like a naan bread thrown in the oven instead. Because it was less stressful to do a naan bread than it was to toast 2 slices of bread. So having the bread in the house to do something like this as like a cheat meal would not have been worth it for how much of a waste of bread it would have been. But there we go. That's nice and dark. Once again, I'm just going to... Well, the cheese is melted, but it's not... It's kind of being... There's like the slice of ham getting in the way of it holding the sandwich together like it's supposed to. So, as it is, I'm going to turn the heat off. This is not the best angle I can get, but it's the only angle I can get for the time being. Grab this knife here. No, this is the one I was using to cut the spinach yesterday. I'm sure it's fine. Yeah, this bread isn't the easiest to cut when it's toasted. As I say, I only got spinach on it. It's fine. Like, you can see the cheese inside is melted. I didn't get a cheese pull like I was hoping to, but again, I haven't done this in a while, so I need to get myself used to the kind of temperatures I need to do. I haven't done it with this particular bread in like 3 years. But anyway, there you go. That's a grilled cheese on keto. Oh, that is still as delicious as I remembered. So I'm now going to make myself up some coffee, have a couple of these peanut butter cookies with it as well, and I'll see you soon.